Yo, yo. Hello. My name is Silo Timba. I'm not alone. I've got a, I've got the second iteration of Dust in these studios. First, we had the sister, the older sister. Is she older?
Yeah, she's older.
We had the older sister. Today, we have the creative genius of the family, Mr. Minenhle, Dust Ntuli. How you doing, sir? All the way from Cape Town. What brings you back home?
I'm from Durban. It's great. Yeah, I'm just taking everything in. That's my birthday last time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, happy belated birthday, man. Happy belated. How was that?
Yeah, wrong. I think the focus was more on the exhibition. Yeah, but then those who knew.
Yeah, you were down. I'm sorry.
Do you need to move closer?
Yeah.
Okay,
just
sharp.
Yeah. So you were down. You were down for an exhibition. How was that? What was it about? How did it come about?
So that was basically about. Well, the theme was about celebrating the Nguni culture and almost capturing it as it looks now in modern society.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was basically a series of photographs. Yeah, so I was just part of that as one of the exhibitors.
So what did you exhibit and what did you have?
How much time do you have?
As long as you have before you have to jet off to the.
So I was exhibiting umsebenzi wami, and even now I'm struggling to call it umsebenzi because it's just ithombe.
Yeah.
But how it all started is when I moved to Cape Town, I started missing home.
Yeah.
And then every time I came back, I would make sure that I capture as much of home through photography as possible.
Yeah.
Then I would share that on Instagram, and I could see abantu started seeing themselves in the photos. So that's what I was displaying, moments that I've captured while being home this side, which capture the culture, the Zulu culture, and a bit of religion. Isonto lasekhaya laseZion.
Zion. I mean, sorry for my ignorance.
Ufanele aza kutshele yini, but yeah.
Well, I know Fanele is like super churchy.
Yeah.
Or at least used to be. I've done it for a very long time, so I saw the whole arc of, I want to break out from what I know.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious.
So I think you experience more of the DCC side of her.
Yeah.
But it's Sekelo sasekhaya seZion, but obviously that's based in Makaya, and most of the time basically like Tegwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what's important to mention is that iZion is similar to izinto eziningi zesintu. It's something as cool. It's almost like unamahloni ngakho. It's only now when people are embracing it,
sure, yeah.
which is what also makes this exhibition quite important, because it's like we're coming to embrace who we are for who we are.
Yeah.
So yeah,
showcasing your roots, to see, because it's important for somebody in your culture to see you be proud of your culture.
Yeah.
Then they can at least start to question why they might be ashamed of the same culture they hold. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's very important work.
Which they were born into, meaning it influenced so much of them.
Yes.
So them neglecting it.
Everything you are makes it. Everything you're not makes you everything you are, and vice versa.
Exactly.
So even if you don't like it, the fact that you rooted from it, you getting away from it, at least you'll go to something where you say you don't like it.
Yeah.
But you'll find with almost everything is generally the same. If you're running away from anything, you're running away from self.
Because the more people ask me about the exhibition, I tell them that what was most important for me, or what stood out, is that most of my career has been outside of KZN. So me being on TV, showcasing at Design in Daba. So my family always saw my stuff through.
Drop them accolades, boy. Accomplished. My man's accomplished.
So they've always seen me through TV, through magazines. So this was the first time even Uma came to see my work and see how many fans I have, but how much support I have outside of and how much people appreciate my work.
That's a huge one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's one thing to see the awards, but to actually witness
Be there.
other people as a mother pretend to love your kid because it's like a pretend. I'm the mother. It's like these other people are acting like me around my son.
Exactly.
This is beautiful.
Yeah,
So,
and then you start seeing your son beyond him just being your son.
Yeah.
Also, Uma is very involved esontweni. Ushaya isigubhu
Yeah.
eZion. So also her seeing isonto lakhe akhulele kulona in another space being appreciated by abanye abantu. There was even a point where she was explaining ithombe to abantu.
Oh, really? You can't even plan that shit.
And she even wants to buy, well, she's going to buy, she's going to buy 2 of them. Because that's.
Keep it in the family.
But yeah, for me, it was that transition because even when I was when we home,
Yeah.
I always tell people, would say, abantu used to see me, TD board. They're like, "Lily board," because not everyone carries that. But when I was when at home, it clicked. Oh, should see that's why I mean TD, and they saw it translate to an actual thing.
I mean, I also did TD, so there is that thing. It's there's literally people that, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to school carrying a huge ass bag all day.
Remember, saskibelo popo.
Yes, dude.
We have big lap when the
That's
show.
an informal bus for you guys doing that.
When the show would say,
Yeah, like, I had a strategy. I had like girls that always had a seat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I beg la phambili inceke lesitsi le.
And then how many times did you forget it?
I actually have never forgotten this. Yeah.
I want to tell you, just avoid it.
Well, ngeke ngayintshontsha nami but
hey, because I want to tell just before an exam, though. You guys
Mhlawumbe mina nje because you remember we had lockers.
Yeah.
So different grades also. Some sorts of Kianga. Yeah, but that's another story. That's another story about.
That was a. Hey, let's not talk dirty about it. But these things happen in all high schools. So
No, but for me, that's something I always mention about to Duguti. For me, it was a perfect balance between getting your academics right, but also learning about impilo.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you see, there's people that are well off in life.
Yeah.
But I see Northwood. I think Northwood, I wasn't awake to it because. You see, college?
Yeah.
College, you're awake to life. You'd be like, as of 10 bits, I start to pay a guy. I start to pay a guy. But it's also like, it's inspiring,
Yeah.
I want to be like, that guy's dad. Do you know what that guy's dad does?
So I think, my college experience was different because architecture takes so much of your time. So you don't really. I didn't care much what's in Koyaganja, I was just there, okay, I need to finish my degree. I can't let it down. So I didn't get to experience race live, going to parties. Because half the time I was in studio.
Well, you studied
UKZN, yeah. So I think that sheltered me from.
But I always say this: UKZN is not the ideal college experience you get sold in the movies. UJ bits, UCT. I got apparently. It's just not the same. So I get it. And Futhi, even there, back on Amantero there. But like I said, I only woke up to the fact of life. What you learned at Northwood, I learned that lesson. And that shifts your perspective.
Okay.
So, I figure when the guys are dead, to Baba for the tail, you kid focus on school. I don't want to pay for another damn year. And then the gravity starts. It was there.
Yeah.
But the gravity of it really setting for me was like that.
I think with Northwood also, I was coming from. It's actually a funny story how I actually got it. Northwood.
Yeah.
So I went to Oxford Primary School, which is just after Verelem, before Endwed.
Yeah.
School Samaroma. Predominantly, all black school foods.
Sure.
And Lapo, I was brilliant. Ngangi head boy in primary.
Oh, head boy.
So yeah, I ngangi ntsepa kule school in. So the transition to Northwood, it was my first time in Funda Namandi and Abelungu.
Sure.
So nami unplanned. It was the first time I was in Funda ngesingisi.
Sure.
So as smart as I was, I had to like adjust. And then that's where I think I found a balance between my grades going down a bit, but also my social awareness going up.
Oh, I totally
Yeah.
get it. I
Because
totally
you
get it.
know,
Yeah, no.
what people don't realize, everyone was coming, most of the people were coming from North Crest, Glen Ashley.
Feeder
So
schools,
they
the feeder
they already
schools,
knew
yeah,
each other, babedlala sports together, and here I am coming from Verelem.
No, nobody in the
Yeah.
system of schooling. Yeah.
So I feel like
That's very interesting. Man, not that it has like a population of people. I think probably every school has a population of people who like their parents. That year when you get up, like now you're going to the big school. I can afford it. Fucking shit. Move. Yeah, but so like, and it's really hard. I mean, I had to essentially, and because I was in these schools, I mean, I had to do the reverse. Is what when you fools or food. I mean, I didn't know I was in a system of schooling until I was out of it. Then I was like, fuck. Who was Kuruma but come from 20 people.
yeah.
Well, like I would have never picked up with the super church, all of that shit.
Yeah.
Even with the fun it was it's very interesting perspective. And then like how was the whole Cape Town shit for you? How was that as a
So first of all, from varsity, applying for varsity, I only applied at UKZN, I only applied for architecture.
Sure.
I'm just giving a background of how I never saw myself outside of Durban.
Sure.
Durban, comfort zone, Kuala, Umzulu, KZN.
Sure. Go with time,
Indaba bona bengezila. Yabo. So after I finished varsity on time, because I told you, focused nje. Nendaba nezinto eziningi, ngaqeda, and then I started working. I had a BlackBerry at the time, but ngiyibona ne-Instagram ukuthi ngeke. I want to get into the space. Because angithandi ukuchaza umsebenzi wami, but so I just wanted to explore my ideas through photography with the Instagram.
Documentation.
Yeah, and then I started working. First few months, I bought my first phone. I remember it was a Sony Xperia X1.
Sure. You didn't even care about phones at the time. Like, you just like school, phones. I'm gonna
Lo yini lento bayibizana nje BlackBerry oyithenga. Yeah. 50 something rand. Yeah. Uthenge leyo nto grand. Shaya research varsity. Wama movie yabo konke nje.
So you got it just for that, not even because of the social purpose. Internet unlimited. That was the kind of
yeah.
Okay.
But then the thing is, with BlackBerry didn't allow us to get Instagram, so I had to shift to Android. Sony.
Sure.
So that got me into photography. I'm just giving a bit of background on how ngagcina Cape Town. And then the more I posted photos, so we would go to the same area, but how I captured that area wouldn't be the same as Lumude Benghamba Nai. Then I started getting a bit of traction on Instagram. I'm not talking big numbers, even like 100 followers.
Yeah.
But to me at the time, I'm like,
there's more than 10 people interested
I'm
in
like,
this.
Yeah. To a point where sometimes I would even post a blank white page, but because they hooked, like, because babona ukuthi mean. Yeah, and then the work I was doing in architecture, it was more black and white. So I was doing a lot of detailing because I was an architectural technologist. So I wasn't doing like the nice stuff, the conceptual stuff. And that frustrated me. I know I'm way more than this. Here I am, so office but when I get home, I'm getting likes and people are complimenting my photography.
Yeah.
So what can I do to do more than just lending inside? Ngabo ukuthi anginangane ngihlala noma at the time ufanele konje weke but think babehlala eGoli nosisi wami omdala.
Yeah.
So mina ngihleli noma kuphela anginangane ngiyangilamba uma ekhona. So why not quit my job? I'm 21 at the time. Share phansi emsebenzini. Ngathi ngizobona ukuthi ngenze njani. It was around the Instagram siqala.
What was it? You just didn't feel happy Espanian?
I just felt like
this is not you got it everything you thought you wanted and it wasn't it. Not
really, but you mentioned Ugusingi creative genius. Yeah. I just felt like I wasn't fulfilling that at the time.
Oh, that creative genius. Because I'm not doing enough. I can do everything that everybody does easily.
So yeah, like what can I do? Like at the time I was going to interviews for graphic design jobs, for that's when social media managing, yeah. But it didn't have like a proper description. So I would just go and have conversations nabantu. While I was doing all of that, and then a friend of mine sends me a link to the Winner Home competition.
Yeah.
It's an interior design competition. And because I was in that headspace, yoguti, I'm going for anything. Yeah. But at first I was like, that's another thing with this school. If you studied architecture, uzoba architect. You can't be anything else. So mengisendela ngifunda kupha interior design competition.
Yeah.
The church side of me is like the right thing to do ukuthi ungayingeneli because ufunde architecture, you can't get into a space that's not yours.
The sad part of personality is that it boxes us in.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the other side of me, equity umsebenzi, is like read through the thing, we decide when. And then I read through what it's about. You get an apartment, you design, ufake furniture.
I've been building this shit.
Exactly. Because actually I had recently done to one of the houses that for the company that I was working for. I'm like, what is it for Lomuzo Seclofland? The only difference is things were man. Then I entered. I remember then I was shortlisted for top 15. And I'm just thinking, South Africa, I'm one of the 15.
50 people, because they tell you with X amount of people apply.
Yeah. No good bafuna na ubona ukuthi hayibo inkulu land.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate thing ukuthi there was meant to be live interviews, because they also wanted to see your personality with TV. Because at the end of the day, TV ifuna viewership.
Sure.
And ifuna abantu abazo entertain abantu.
Yeah.
So babe take me now, we're gonna video call, because I was one of the few contestants abebe from outside Cape Town.
Sure.
Galinda ke how ngangathola call. But because of space at the time, I wouldn't say I was arrogant, but I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I was sending email, and I got a job offer around that time. I was sending the email lab ukuthi. But first nithe ngizophendula isikhathi nithule manje. Aningitshele phela khona because impilo yami imile phela manje ngicabanga ngitshele SABC3 le. Well, whoever I was dealing with at the time, I still don't even have their email manje. Bathula. Then 2 days later, I remember I was somewhere like Ethekwini driving around as I always did, ngingasebenzi. Bangifonela. But yeah, it's us from Batwazi. Do you still remember? Are you still able to relocate? Are you still open to the whole thing? It's okay. Yeah, because you just wanna get to the crux. Like umfoneleleni, like ngitshele, musungibuza zonke lezo zinto. Ngavuma yonke into, but okay, sure, we're still deliberating. We're speaking to the magazines because they had to pick nabo umuntu abazommentorisha. So kutshela late. Kuba nosuku lami bangifonela later. I was about to drive back home, but I was sitting down. I think but yeah, we made it. Then I went into the competition.
Fucked it up.
That's a whole episode on its own. Nama dynamics are. And then I came second, and it's funny enough, kubantu bazosingawin. But anyways, I came second, and then I got an internship, and then that company. Then that's how I got a job, and then that's how I moved to Cape Town.
Yeah.
Also, staying in Durban in Cape Town was always like a holiday destination.
In your head.
Yeah. You just go there, you come back. How dare you stay there?
How do you live?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was wild.
But the 3 months I was there for a competition, Gabon, how?
Exactly. It's like anyway. That's the thing about in that moment you realize the importance of travel.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you only need a bed and a kitchen and a toilet. And sometimes it's going to be smaller than what you have back home. But
literally, you think that biggest crime.
Yeah. And once you're done, you can live anywhere. Yeah. You know? Again, it's very opposite experiences. Because I was at North End. I'm like, I can't wait to get away from my desk. I just need to go to Cape Town. I just need a pause.
Yeah.
I'm applying. So we're waiting on those results. So for me, it's like, I knew my cousin lived there. So I was going to Nakhon, and I was like, didn't go to Reds. I stayed with my cousin.
But at least you had that, so it's okay. It's possible. Yeah.
And exactly, I'm lucky. Some people, I realize a lot of my friends are the first people to do things in their family.
Yeah.
I'm like, number 5, 6, 7. There's people that did things.
So, leyo nto ngibiza well, I think but it's like, because now so there's certain privileges we have or freedom yokuthi ungenza noma yini.
Like the parents even in the
I relax.
Yeah. Because
Yeah. So that's what I also picked up with my move to Cape Town. Yamvula ingqondo a bit more because part of her was worried because angisebenzi, but angimhluphi because
it's psychological.
Yeah.
It's like I know you boys. The parents have I know you boys, but then once you get over that, it's like but like what's happened over the last 5 years?
Because it had a ripple effect. A year or what's later, my older sister, wayekumsebenzi naye, moves to China. Finally, wavula YouTube channel. So it was easier to also do lezi engajwayelekile after nami sengizenzile. But I always say to the youngest on a privilege, you have to use your privilege to also benefit your older siblings. Because bona kwatest izinto eziningi ngabo for you to have this opportunity. So now in reverse, challenge izinto so now they can have more freedom. Because abazali kulula ukuthi bathi yes kuthina sibancane kunalama siblings amadala because they always they try to protect them, especially mina ke osis, it's females.
So it's just like your freedom was even like 20-fold
Exactly, engabuye ebusuku zonke lezo zinto.
So it's very interesting. You can really trap yourselves as a family if you don't just the whole like I have to be taken into a room and talked about and okay, I know, and that's why I can't take anybody seriously who's fighting with their family. If I know you're fighting with your family, I think it's in Hamba right now. Actually, I don't want you close to me because I don't know what bad juju is gonna come from this lesson that I could be the experiment that your life needs for you to show you that no, I just this bad energy, literally, like
no, true, because I was even saying I was ngikhuluma naye ukuthi khona le phase le where people feel like Cape Town banje where you feel like your friends are like the new family yabo. Blood Cape Town abagoduki. I was saying that's not December. Like I know so many people abangagoduki, they spend the New Year nabangani. No.
Christmas.
Exactly. And to me, also the thing, Durban is very conservative compared to Cape Town. Yeah. So in Cape Town, there was a lot of culture shocks. Njengabantu bengagoduki. I'm like, bathini.
That's a fun thing. I was still fighting myself when you went to Cape Town.
Yeah.
Because I remember, shout out to one of the Kumalos, I don't know which one it is. One of them's in China. But she's like the most unapologetic Zulu girl catching a taxi. She's going to UCT, I'm going to school. I get off, we get off at the similar space. And it's a good travel. So look or it speaks Zulu. You don't even try to learn closer. And she's like, back is what I'm doing. It's like, oh my gosh, unapologetic Zulu.
Yeah, which is also not a.
It's not
a good
great,
thing. Yeah.
But what it said to me is, don't rack yourself trying to, because it was I'd heard when in town, But it's like no, dude. Like it's actually you don't have to.
Yeah.
But it's so it's beneficial. The little that I learned, of course, that helps me.
Yeah.
So, but it's like you can be yourself too, and that's like again.
Yeah.
It's that thing. What's wrong with you? Because there's something wrong with you. Easter, you didn't go home?
Nakhona, it's not like I'm enforcing indlela engikhule usangachaza and then I can still get it. But still.
And there are cases.
Yeah.
We talk about the normal average person who has a mother waiting for them at home, not a mother and father, or just a father or just a mother, whatever. And you haven't seen your parents.
Yeah.
And there's cases like dad works in China or whatever. Fuck yeah, but it's dangerous.
Because there's also these posts I make on Instagram where I just write something.
Yeah.
There's one essay that says Kotugani. Because it was just speaking to that, it's Bafez Kotugani. sometimes also to solve things, kumele ugoduke. You can't solve certain things over the phone.
When you're stressed and you haven't been home, go home.
Yeah.
Like just one. It's like a you don't. I think it's a reset because you get there and everything's the same.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed, and you realize what has changed in me.
So even just to mention about the exhibition, it's a result of me being aware of the importance of going home. Ngaba ukho lo msebenzi if benga I didn't acknowledge that because ngaba ukuthi it's so easy to Cape Town to swallow me, especially as a creative. Ngijela ukuthi no, I'm here to build my own life. But I realized ukuthi being there's so many international people, there's so many people coming from everywhere. And what makes me is where I'm from. So it only makes sense 100%. That I go back to home, Tata Mandla per se, and then go back.
Yeah. Exactly, dude. Like, and fucking great outlook, which is why I wanted you here. Your fucking outlook on life is fucking crazy. Like,
no,
the most Zulu creative I know. One of them, you and Tanda Konen, Zulu creatives, that you guys are just like, the core of Zulu creatives.
And I think it's not easy when you say untwempu or you're a genius, but it's something that I truly believe ngami, and especially in terms of how I plan things and how
nobody does it like you do,
and how so little people have seen in terms of what I can offer and in terms of how I plan things. Like this exhibition, I had to call Uma. Because you mentioned to find it in Christianity, there's been like a certain of questioning. I think even with that, I was the first one. But now it's not like we've moved away, but it helps even when you stay, you know why you're staying. Instead of let me just. So for me, I always say, any religion, it's important to step out. We question it. So by the time you go back or you stay in it, usuyaz, not because umawa it's as so everything you do,
just before we carry on, where's the art exhibition so people can go check it out?
It's a KZNSA. Yeah. I don't know the actual address.
People know KZNSA. People have Google.
Exactly.
So KZNSA is where that. Yeah.
And it's going on for 5 weeks.
Yeah. Until when? Do you know?
So it starts from the 13th of May.
Okay, 5 weeks from the 13th of May. Hopefully I'll get this out in a week and then it'll be still fresh. I wanted to say, I still the same thing in my father. He's like, we grew up, he did not care about the church, but there's just certain things about the church that he held dear to his heart. And one of them was Easter. And like on Easter, my dad goes to church. Does not go to church any other, but he goes to church. And then now, like, I got them YouTube, and he's like, watches masses. I'm like, you never went to church. How? He's like, but because that first 18 years of his life, we're like, go to church. He stayed somewhere inside and needs to be.
You can't ignore what it's part of who you are, especially if you're a part of it.
Yes, it's who you are. Just as, because for me, because of my dad's towards like religion, I never really believed anything the pastors said. So I understood it from that point of view. But obviously I didn't see his maturation to understand it.
Yeah.
So when I start to look into the finding yourself, the gods, the whatever, I understand what religion was for.
Yeah.
It's a part to get to the place that I got without it. And there's a million ways to it. Some people find it through dancing.
Yeah.
Some people find it through drugs. Some people find it through other various means. This is a laptop in English. I can point to it in a million other language. But we're pointing to this thing.
Yeah.
And that's what religion tries to do. All the religions are just various ways of pointing at this thing so the way it is in your society will help you understand yourselves and the people's decisions around you. So you have to understand.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Because I've said to a few friends of mine, isonto nebhola yafana lento le. Bangihleka, but manje semebedlala indoor, it's like a joke manje, inside joke, but if it's ngisaya esontweni ngiyoshaya inkonzo ye-5 side yabo. Because literally mufike ebholeni sorry, ukhohlwa yonke into.
And you know what that is? It's being present.
Exactly.
It's meditation. What meditation teaches is if you want great things in your life, be aware. And you see now, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, no
There's a
phones,
level of
no
focus,
phones,
yeah.
there's a set of focus,
Exactly.
attentionness, a listening and an understanding happening simultaneously.
Ngeke ungavuka umoya when you guys have left everything else not decide ukuthi nizohlangana. Whether nihlangane ngoJesu or nihlangane ngebhola.
They're leaving the problems aside.
Exactly. So find now isonto lakho in anything. It could be sports, it could be in. Fana nengoma.
Hobbies are important. Like
Fana nengoma kwaZulu mekusino.
fuck, another thing. You listen to fucking everything local. Like the local
That's
guy.
it's not love because
The local guy.
ngeke iphele
No,
leyo.
I just want to know what you're listening to lately. Because I can go like, your top 10 will be like forever. You probably have a top 100. It goes. Yeah.
So lapho I'm very yo.
You're very harsh too.
Yeah. So I watched yabo ngoba sibuke ibhola EPL.
Yeah.
I studied them how they are so loyal to their own.
Yeah.
Like uGrealish bazomdayisa ngo100 mil to City.
Sure.
Just because so hlapho 50 or ukuthi wase England.
Yeah.
So I took that mentality and I apply empilweni yami. If we have a playlist yami top 100s ngeke ulithole icwele lase-America.
Sure.
And it's not by mistake. And I realized ukuthi nami umsebenzi engizowenza kumele uhamselane nomculo engulalelayo. Even ngathiwa ngidesign indlu or I'm taking these photos or I'm overlaying music.
That's why essentially this is what I try to teach to anybody that I have the opportunity of teaching is every decision you make is important.
Like wonky.
All your decisions to take time to make the decision. So in you making this decision and deciding to do something a certain way, that is creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So you were asking what I'm listening to music wise.
yeah. And so sorry, I say that because you then the way you do things is because you listen to certain things.
Yeah.
And you watch
But
and you
angifuna ukwenza iphutha. But obviously, okay, Mam Cool Kids dropped the album recently.
What do you think quickly just about that?
Sugar TN.
Yeah. I started listening to it. I say this. I like the way that man makes albums.
So inkinga yami because I'm a huge fan and inkinga yami kenkulu ngiyakwazi ukulalela ingoma eyodwa.
It takes you a while to listen to an album. You wanna
It depends on the album. So okay, Mam Cool Kids ngilalelile yonke. I like the transition. Ngithanda the later part, Bloomington, like it's more chilled. My favorite song Umzukulu right now, which is like the last song. But in saying I couldn't go back to the rest of the album. So ngistuck ekulona because also umculo engulalelayo uyahamselana nemood nokuthi ngenzani ngaleso sikhathi. So ukhiphe end of April. What I'm going through now with the exhibition, having to come back home again, and I was at home for my Easter. He mentioned certain things like yonke into ayenzayo ibuyele emsamo, which is how the exhibition is feeling for me.
Yeah.
So leyo ngoma
ngayidlala
ka-200s. So I can't really give an opinion on the album manje because my experience right now ihleli kumzukulu.
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about an album or art in itself is that, you know, when I look at a piece of furniture, you might have had inputs on.
Yeah.
Normally because when I bring up, you know, like they got an adapter for a round cord. You know, like you appreciate, you know, like and I'm an Apple guy, and like the best engineering that they ever did is the problem of looking for your phone in your house. Just stand in the middle and go.
Feeling ngathi nje go cool. My Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my God! Experience wherever it is. Yeah, my G.
But yeah, to carry on with the list. Okay, Mam Cool Kids, Nomfundo Mo. Also,
I like how she inserted herself into the industry. That was an interesting move. One song, one video, the right features, and then they like your song so much they're gonna listen to your next song, and then boom.
Yeah, but that's another thing. So because I'm so invested in local, I mean.
Yeah.
And
I look at the mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a commercial guy. I like business.
So just to tell you, Nomfundo ngamthola kanjani. Waposta a friend of mine with my FM.
Sure.
And I mean, I'm very selfish.
Oh shit.
No, like in terms of ukuthi yonke into ingami.
Oh.
So I have to. The reason I gravitated to uNomfundo is because wasendwedwe.
Okay.
Ngahlala endwedwe. Ngikathi ngisafunde Oxford. Wafunde Everelem High. So I saw those small things beyond umculo. Ngathi
Just for you to
okay.
like the artist.
Ngamsendela email engaka. At the time.
Back then.
Before esakhipha even before she was signed.
Sure.
Just appreciating umsebenzi wakhe. Ngimtshela ukuthi angayeki. Ngamsuggestela ama-photographers. Angasebenzisana nawo going forward because also I have that creation eye. So everything that's happening to her now, I too because ngayibona back then, and it's also because I'm very invested in local stuff and I know what South Africans and the locals need. And I could see her edlala Khosini, and I could see her people sing themselves Guyen.
That's the beauty of so that's the beauty of why I say this. It's Nami and you know, when I used to make club videos, I never used to use international music ever. I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Ngisane grudge ngani. No wobbly, but I ngesikhulume le.
But you know, you have to live this. You want to be made money in the entertainment industry. Give back to somebody else in the entertainment industry. I help people do everything that I can help them with. When okay, you have everything going for you, but a video, I'll do a video for you for that little thing. It's like
just ubani little push there.
It's that little thing. It's when you need to go perform this album out. Come here, you know. So it's very important, and like I appreciate that. Seeing it in you, like just you help wherever you can.
Yeah, but right now, Jomundo Reid, I am don't know how to pronounce it. Like Olified Cat. We project layers expanding.
Sure.
Yeah. Sanda Kipingo. He's featured by Musicaholic. Those are the but yeah. Cat. If Gong and I can't beg at and Abandaba Asabisana Nabo, he's the next.
Yeah, it's very nice that you really you invested in the underground.
Lapangi kuna say KZN.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, you have to make your own pipeline.
Yeah.
Living in Cape Town. Otherwise, you hear this shit late. You hear it like 2 years after it's gone viral.
Yeah.
Then sometimes it's like so. Yeah, but so when must to me, it's to me. Sure, Bengal.
But it also shows us there's no excuse. Umhlaba usumncane manje. Buga, how many artists are in Durban but probably have never exhibited a KZNSA? But in Cape Town, I've managed to keep those connections and exhibit back home. So no, if you exhibit in Cape Town, it's not impossible to exhibit in Cape Town while staying in Durban.
Exactly.
So abantu need to use the internet.
Proactive. Sending emails. You know, I love because whenever I want to get somebody who I see is not serious off my back, I'm like, send an email. Yeah.
Get to comment. No, go see, because there's a birthday exhibition. If I just take it, go away Facebook and give a call. So you sending an email is you showing commitment, and Nami, vela my email. It's not like you receive my email out. So
Google Canada.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Yeah, Nami figure on time. J. Because we also need to take each other. Yeah, exactly.
That's black. You respect the other black when he says, hey,
But in the same type, and I must know my flight back to Cape Town is at 1 9. It is too much, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Like, now I know which I can't set up while you're right.
Yeah.
I have to set up 90%. It's time. It's respecting yourself and other people, dude. Most importantly, but the thing is, my time that you don't respect yourself, it's hard for you to do the same for other people because then you know that other people are like you.
Yeah.
And demand.
As a person, you tell us how to treat you. Then yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on to my show. It's wanted this forever. I tried to make you do a podcast before. So RadioDR.co.za, deeplyrooted.world. That's where you find all of our shenanigans. Check out, went to the Midlands, check out that video. Brown Girl Travels. Yeah, pretty sick.
Okay.
Bye. Mr. Ntuli, wait.
samele ngibuye la
So kushaya futhi over live
hayi
Skype.
senginama-followers right asengi-rise ngeleyo nto asekho isidingo ngiyadlala ongazi uyangazi ongangazi ngiyadlala fethu yonke indawo dust no just on Instagram dust_ZA yeah Facebook asuyeke because ngiyahlupha
Shout out Ente. Shout out Ente. I love you. Bye.
now Facebook ngiyahlupha